Good evening, folks. This is Bill O'Connor, here to sing you some songs. This first one comes from the heartland of America. It's kind of an old murder ballad. I asked my love to take a walk, just a little walk, oh, a little walk, down beside where the waters flow, by the banks of the Ohio. Held a knife against her breast, as into my loving arms she pressed. She cried, "Oh, Willie, don't murder me. I'm not prepared for eternity, and only say you will be mine. No other arms will you entwine, down beside where the waters flow, by the banks of the Ohio." I took her by her lily white hand, down beside where the water stands. Oh, I picked her up and I throwed her in, and I watched her while she floated by, and only say that you'll be mine. No other arms will you entwine, down beside where the waters flow, by the banks of the Ohio. I took a walk back into town, cried, "Oh Lord, what had I done? Killed the only girl I ever loved, because she would not be my bride, and only say that you'll be mine. No other arms will you entwine, down beside where the waters flow, by the banks of the Ohio. Only say that you'll be mine. No other arms will you entwine, down beside where the waters flow, down by the banks of the Ohio. There's a lot of songs about different events that have occurred in our history of the United States and the history of other countries. And murder ballads are kind of a part of the tradition. Well, I guess from here it can only go up. This is a song I really like a lot. I've been singing it for a lot of years. Sailors used to sing a lot of work songs. They called them sea chanties. This one was sung both as a sea chanty and as what they called a forecastle ballad, where they'd gather around in the evening and just sing a song for the melody of it. The sun is now setting far out at sea. Away, Rio, the sun is now setting far out at sea. and we're bound for the Rio Grande. And away, Rio, away, Rio, so fare thee well, my pretty young gal. We're bound for the Rio Grande. Oh, the anchor is weighed and the sails they are set. Away, Rio, are the friends that we're leaving we'll never forget. Ah, we're bound for the Rio Grande. And away, Rio, away, Rio, ah, fare thee well, my pretty young gal. We're bound for the Rio Grande. Oh, it's goodbye to Susie and goodbye to Sue. Away, Rio, and goodbye to you who are listening to. And we're bound for the Rio Grande. Away, away, Rio, ah, fare thee well, my pretty young gal. We're bound for the Rio Grande. Fare thee well, my pretty young gal. Ah, we're bound for the Rio Grande. This next song is apparently I sang the wrong song then, but that's all right. We'll go back to the right program here. This next song is called Gotta Travel On. There was a fragment of this song that was discovered by maybe some of the Weavers, maybe Pete Seeger, I'm not sure, but they added some words to it, and it became kind of a bluegrass standard. It's a good song for this time of year. Done laid around, done stayed around this old town too long. Summer's almost gone, winter's coming on. Done laid around, done stayed around this old town too long, and I feel like I want to travel on. There's a lonesome freight at 608 rolling through the town. I'll be homeward bound, I'll be homeward bound. Oh, there's a lonesome freight at 608 coming through the town, and I feel like I want to travel on. Done laid around, done stayed around this old town too long. Summer's almost gone, winter's coming on. Done laid around, done stayed around this old town too long. And I feel like I want to travel on. Oh, I've waited here for most a year, waiting for the sun to shine, hoping you'd change your mind, hoping you'd be mine. Waited here for most a year, waiting for the sun to shine. Oh, I feel like I want to travel on. Done laid around, done stayed around this old town too long. Summer's almost gone, oh, winter's coming on. Done laid around, done stayed around this old town too long. And I feel like I gotta travel on. Down in the southern United States, there's a lot of songs about lady songs, so to speak, about how they've been mistreated and taken advantage of by men. This is one of those. One of the prettiest ones I know of. Come all ye fair and tender ladies, take warning how you court your men. They're like the stars on a summer's morning. First they'll appear and then they're gone. They'll tell to you some lovely story, then they'll prove their love is true. Ah, then they'll go and court another. Oh, that's all the love they have for you. I wish I'd known before I courted what all this lying could have done. I'd locked my heart in a box of gold and tied it down with a silver chain. I wish I were a little swallow and I had wings and I could fly. I'd fly away from my true lover, and while he mourned, I'd sit and cry. Come all ye fair and tender ladies, take warning how you court your men. They're like the stars on a summer's morning. First they appear, and then they're gone. That's an old song that I really like. Comes from down in North Carolina. I'm going to do you one now from Ireland by way of Australia. I'm not sure whether this song was originally an Irish song or an Australian song. It's found in both cultures. There's plenty of songs like the last one, there's plenty of songs like this one. Men who get taken advantage of by women. Her eyes, they shone like the diamond. You'd think she was queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. In a neat little town they call Belfast, apprenticed to trade I was bound, and many an hour of sweet happiness I spent in that neat little town. Till bad misfortune came o'er me and caused me to stray from the land, far away from me friends and relations. I followed that black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like the diamonds. You'd think she was queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up in a black velvet band. Sure, I went out strolling one evening, not meaning to go very far. I fell in with a frolicsome damsel who was plying her trade in a bar. And a watch she took from a customer, she put it right into me hand. And they came and they locked me in prison. Bad luck to the black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like the diamonds. You'd think she was queen of the land. Her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. And next morning before judge and jury, for trial I had to appear. The judge, he said, young fellow, the case against you is quite clear. 7 long years is your sentence. You're going to Van Diemen's Land, far away from your friends and relations. You'll follow the black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like the diamonds. You'd think she was queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Now come all you jolly young fellows, I'd have you take warning by me. And whenever you're out on the liquor, me lads, beware of the pretty collies. Oh, they'll ply you, they'll tempt you with porter until you're not able to stand. And the very next thing that you know, me lads, you've landed in Van Diemen's Land. Our eyes, they shone like the diamonds. You'd think she was queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like the diamonds. You'd think she was queen of the land. Oh, her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Another song from the British Isles there was a poem written sometime after 1880, during the early 1880s. Britain had a number of storms and their fishing fleet was devastated. There was a lot of men lost, a lot of young men with families, and a poet put together some poems and sold them on the street. No one knows where this particular melody came from, but the poems were sold in order to raise money for the widows and their children. Methinks I see a host of craft spreading their sails a-lee, as down the Humber they do glide, bound for the northern sea. Methinks I see on each small craft a crew of men so brave, going out to earn their daily bread upon the restless wave. And it's 70 boys and men were lost from Grimsby town, from Yarmouth down to Scarborough, 100 more were drowned. Our herring crafts, our trawlers, our fishing smacks as well, they long did fight that bitter night, their battle with the swell. Ah, methinks I see 'em yet again as they leave the land behind, casting their nets into the sea, the herring shoals to find. Methinks I see 'em yet again, and the midnight hour is past, and every tiny herring craft does fight the icy blast. And it's 70 boys and men were lost from Grimsby town, from Yarmouth down to Scarborough. 100 more were drowned. Our herring craft, our trawlers, our fishing smacks as well, they long did fight that bitter night their battle with the swell. And methinks I heard the captain say, "Me lads will shorten sail." The sky for all appearances looks like a rolling gale. Methinks I see him yet again, and the midnight hour is past, and every little herring craft does fight the icy blast. And it's 70 boys and men were lost from Grimsby town, from Yarmouth down to Scarborough. 100 more were drowned. Our herring craft, our trawlers, our fishing smacks as well, they long did fight that bitter night their battle with the swell. You know, October's night brought such a sight was never seen before. There were masts and yards and broken spars come driving in the shore. There was many a heart of sorrow and many a heart so brave, and many a fine and hardy lad did meet a watery grave. And it's 70 boys and men were lost from Grimsby town, from Yarmouth down to Scarborough. 100 more were drowned. Our herring craft, our trawlers, our fishing smacks as well, they long did fight that bitter night their battle with the swell. Okay, folks, have a good time until I see you again.